The credit bureaus admitted it themselves. There's no real true investigation of your accounts when your letter gets to the credit bureaus. How do we know this? Because they told us in testimony given during a lawsuit. Now, in answer to this comment, I'm going to show you the exact process of what happens when your letters get to the credit bureaus. This comment says, "Will you guys stop spreading the lies about the same letter? Can you show proof of a letter from any credit bureau that says, sorry, you sent us a letter that reads like everyone else's?" You cannot, because it does not exist. You don't need to lie to sell your own services. Let's go check out what actually happens when your letter gets to the credit bureaus. Because obviously there's no reasonable, and that's a quote unquote, investigation as required under the FCRA. So here's a rough outline of what happens at the credit bureaus as we understand it. Obviously, they get a letter in the mail, right? The letters are fed into a system that automatically opens and scans the letters, and it reads it via OCR, and it attempts to categorize and route them automatically. The letter is successfully scanned. It is compared to the massive database to determine whether or not it's a canned letter. In other words here, they check to see if this letter has been sent before either by you or by other people. It matches it just like those systems in college. It reads it. That's the entire point of the OCR. If it is, it can be flagged as frivolous before any human actually sees it. If the letter is not deemed frivolous, it is, if possible, automatically converted. And then now we're talking about the EOSCR system, okay? Now, we're not going to talk about what happens after that, but if you want to look at it visually, this is basically what happens. Consumer finds something horribly wrong with their credit report, and they contact the credit bureaus with all their supporting documentation, and the bureaus make an automated attempt to find a reason to ignore or rule out the dispute. Now, part of that, like I said, is reading that letter, which gets fed into a system by a computer that gets read by a computer that gets matched against massive databases, and then they determine, hey, guess what? This is a template you found online and millions of other people have sent it in before. We are not going to do anything with it. So in answer to this, how do we know that the credit bureaus say basically, hey, we're not going to do anything with this because it's already been sent by other people? That's because they told us themselves. The great thing about research and reading through lawsuits is reading the actual process. If you want to learn how to actually remove your negative items factually without coming up with a bunch of stories, the story of Johnny B. Innocent down here, and you really want to move on with your life, then check out the rest of my 1,700 videos going back 9 years, or you can schedule a call with me at my740.com.